Hey, right guys, Truth Munchers Joe here, and today we are going to be doing the character tier list for Bridgerton Season 1 and 2. Obviously, I didn't do a character tier list for Season 1 because we jumped straight into Season 2, so I'm going to mix those two together, even though we had like pretty much all the same characters anyway, apart from one, which was Simon, who wasn't in the Season 2, of course. But some things to just keep in mind in this video. One, Anthony will not appear on this list. I've tried 3 times to redo the list and put all the images back in. Anthony does not show up. I've never had it happen before, so I don't know how to go around it. But yeah, you'll see Anthony is not on this list. I haven't forgot about him. I will say where I'd put him, but we just won't have a visual representation of where that'll be. But I'll say where. And also keep in mind that this is my personal list, and what I take into account is likability, so how much I personally like a character, and then on top of that how much I feel they bring to the show. Remember that, because with Euphoria I put Nate higher up than Jules, and there was one person who was just like, you on Women's History Month as well, you've done this and it's really disrespectful. And I'm just like, I said in that video, Nate is an awful person, but he brings so much to the show Euphoria as a character that you, like I said, I always use the example of Gus from Breaking Bad and Walter White from Breaking Bad. Likability wise, more so with Walter White, likability, Walt's an awful person, but without him it doesn't work. So obviously he goes at the top of the top because it's Walter White. So use that as an example. And with Euphoria with Nate as well, like I think he was like in the middle part of the tier, because I was like, you know, Nate would be down here, but as a character he's up here because he's a really good character. But yeah, most people get that, but I think some people don't, so that's why I say it. But yeah, Bridgerton, it's been a few days since I've finished Season 2, I think probably about 4 or 5 days. You guys are really enjoying it over on YouTube, and we had quite a few people join over on Patreon, so I really do appreciate that, and appreciate everyone that's been watching the reactions to Bridgerton. I miss it already. I really actually do miss Bridgerton. I kind of really want Season 3, and I'm glad, judging from most of the comments, that people are really on board with Kate and Anthony as a couple. Were like an agreement that they were better than Daphne and Simon. Not everyone agrees on that, which is fine, of course. But for me personally, I definitely preferred Kate and Anthony as a couple, and preferred Season 2 as a whole over Season 1. But I say we get Simon done first, just because obviously he wasn't in Season 2, so I feel like he'll be the easiest to, well, not the easiest, but you know, it'll make the most sense to just put up there first. I'll put in higher ups. We've got obviously royalty, higher ups, middle class, peasants, and poo on my shoe. But yeah, higher ups, I really like Simon though. I never felt the chemistry between him and Daphne really, but as a character I really liked him. I think that his one big flaw was what obviously a lot of people kind of pointed out, was him not telling Daphne that it was he didn't want kids, that not that he couldn't have kids. A lot of people, I'm not going to go into the comments about with what happened with some of the comments between Daphne and Simon, because that was just like really ridiculous. But yeah, I started to get really annoyed reading some of the comments about that one scene in Season 1, and I understand that Simon was fucked up in Season 1 as well, but for me, I think he was maybe I put him in middle class, to be fair. I put him in middle class because I think compared to some of the other characters, he's not as likable as some of the others, and he did mess up for sure at a couple of moments in Season 1. But I liked his backstory with his dad. I think that had added a lot to his character in the second episode of Season 1, and he was missed in Season 2. You know, I wasn't like, oh, I wish we had Simon in Season 2 or anything like that, but it would have been nice to maybe have had a couple of scenes with him in the second season. Obviously, mostly between him and Anthony more than anything, because they were obviously best mates in Season 1. So I think that was more so what I was missing over him and Daphne, if that makes sense. But yeah, maybe we'll get more of him in Season 3, who knows. Lady, I'll leave the main characters, I think, for the end. But obviously all these characters are in Season 1 and Season 2. So Lady Featherington, I'm going to put in likability, should be down here, and as a character I'd say she's probably like middle class, so I'm going to put her in peasants, even though she's literally not. Technically, maybe she would be a peasant, because they don't really have any money at the moment, but I found her story to be by far the weakest part of Season 2. I think she did come around and had like a really good scene, or like a really good episode in the finale of Season 2, where she kind of told that guy who I didn't have it. I tried to stick to just 20 characters. I could have added another 10 if I wanted to, but only 20 characters here. But yeah, she did have a good scene where she kind of told him, like, I'm staying with my daughters, go away. Like, that was all really good stuff. Obviously, spoilers for season 1 and 2. I probably should have said that at the start. But I just felt like her story took up way too much screen time in season 2. You could have cut a lot of it down. I don't think she's very likable, but she is funny. And I think she adds a lot to the show in terms of, you know, the comedic side of things, more so than having her own storyline. So, yeah, she's fine. She's fine. She's not like... Yeah, she's definitely the weakest part of season 2, though. Who's some other side character? I guess all kind of means... What's his name? Theo? I didn't want to say Colin, but that's this guy over here. But Theo, I'd say... Likeability-wise, he's pretty good. I do think he has chemistry with Eloise. I just felt like we didn't have enough of his character this season, and that was one of my flaws with season 2, is the romance between Eloise and Theo that they were clearly trying to set up was just too short. I think we needed more episodes between them to really feel that romance, at least with me. But he seems likeable enough. I'd probably put him in Peasants for now, probably below, because she's obviously had way more screen time, but I think he's one of those characters that has potential to really go higher up. I just need more of him, hopefully in season 3. So, yeah, it's nothing, you know, I don't not like him, but as a character, he didn't add that much to the show for me, so he'll go there for now. But season 3, I see him going higher, depending what they do with him, of course. Newton's not a side character. Mary, she, obviously the mum to Edwina and Kate. I think she was a mum. I think she was their mum. I don't know, sometimes it got a little bit confusing, but Mary was cool. I'd probably go middle class. No, maybe Peasants, maybe at the top of Peasants. Likeability, I think she's pretty high up. I like that she, you know, she didn't really say much or do much, but you could tell she really cared for her children and wanted to protect them and wanted what was best for them the whole time. And she did have a couple of good, you know, moments in there throughout the season as well. But I don't think she added too much to the show. I just think she was like really likable, so I'd put her there for sure. But Peasants sounds harsh now. Maybe I shouldn't have called it Peasants, because she is actually really likable. Maybe I should put her in middle class. Yeah, I can't keep her in Peasants because she's actually too likable. So we'll put her up there in middle class. There you go. Are these all main characters now, pretty much? I guess Marina only had one episode in season 2, but obviously she was a main in season 1. I'm going to put her in Peasants. I think she did bring a lot to the show for sure. Probably above her. But I didn't find her very likable. Obviously, a lot of people agreed with what she did in season 1, and I said in that reaction, like, I get why she was lying about the pregnancy. That wasn't even, like, the story wasn't even the problem that I had with her. I just don't think she was super likable throughout. There was moments where I liked her, then a lot of moments where I really went off a character, and then in season 2, the one episode she did have, she was kind of unlikable. Like, I get why she was acting that way, but it didn't, you know, it didn't come across as like a scene where I'm like, oh yeah, I really miss Marina in the show. Like, I had the opposite effect. I was like, oh, like, I think at the start of season 2, I was like, oh, it'd be kind of nice to get some Marina in this season, and then as soon as it happened, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. So maybe we'll get more of her in future seasons. I don't know. You guys who have read the books obviously know that answer, but not that apparently the show's been very accurate to the books. But yeah, she was okay. She's not super unlikable, but not super likable for me, and I just don't, you know, I don't think she's that interesting, to be honest. She's okay. She's okay. Edwina, she's probably a bit of a side character as well, would you say? I don't know, maybe Newton's. I keep looking at Newton like, get him out of the way, but no, we're not doing that. Madame Delacroix, she's kind of a side character. I love her. I'm sorry. This is all personal bias, okay? I have a crush on Madame Delacroix. I can't put her in royalty because that would be very, very biased, but people are going to be pissed if I put her above Simon. This is my list. I don't care. She's going in higher ups. I don't care that she's above Simon and Mary and Marina. I know people are going to hate that. She doesn't do anything in the show. I know. But hear me out. I don't have a case. I don't have anything. but she's going in higher ups because she's an icon. I love it. If you watch the reactions, you know I love her, so that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. I'm sorry. Moving on. We'll move on from Madame Delacroix. I just like her. I just think she's cool. I just think she's a cool character, and I have a crush on her, so she's going up there. I'm not sorry about it either. Who do we move to? I'm going to save like the Bridgerton family, I think, for like the end, because they are the main. So let's do Marina. I really like Marina. Obviously, a lot of comments. No, I say a lot. It was a few comments, kind of, who really didn't like a character and disagreed with everything she was saying to Kate. But then there was like, a lot of comments that were agreeing with me. Where I think it was episode 6, whichever the wedding episode was. I'm pretty sure it was 6. I agreed with not everything she said. I do think there was some points she put across to Kate that was a bit like, okay, don't agree with that, but whatever. But I think she had every right to be angry and pissed at the situation. So, I mean, she was in front of everyone, probably got very, very embarrassed. It was her sister, and she loved... I know like she was kind of young, so like her version of love might not be like what Kate's version of love is, but she said she loved Anthony as well, so that kind of stuck for her. So I'll put her in... I think higher ups, probably up there. I think going into season 2 and watching the trailer, I thought she was going to be a very boring character. I was like, oh, she'll just be like that kind of character who's in the way of getting Kate and Anthony together, and she'll just, she'll budge out of the way eventually. I thought that was going to be the case, and it was like that for most of the season, but I think episode 6, 7 and 8 made Marina very likable. And she was likable before that anyway. I think there was like moments where you could tell she... As someone pointed out in episode 3, I think it was, where they were playing that game. I don't know what they called it in this, but where they were playing that game, and she kind of... People were saying, yeah, she just doesn't really know how to interact with, like, higher-ups or, like, royalty that much. That's why she kind of felt awkward in that situation. So little things like that added to her character. So, yeah, I like Marina. Hopefully she... I mean, I said hope. I was going to say hopefully she finds someone, because obviously she had to see the person she loved to get with her sister, but I think the Queen at the end mentioned... Well, no, the Queen at the end mentioned her cousin that obviously we saw in season 1, so maybe we'll see those two together in season 3 or 4, who knows. Talking of the Queen, let's do the Queen. Royalty, literal royalty as well. What an icon. I love her. I love that she's very subtle in when she's, when she clearly likes someone for the audience, but she's subtle about it to them. Like she obviously loves Lady Danbury. I think she really liked Marina at the end. I think she really likes Lady Bridgerton and Daphne. I think she liked Kate. She liked Anthony. She liked she's like little subtle looks, but she's never dead obvious about it. I like that there's more to her character in terms of what's going on with her husband. Kind of got more emotion out of her through that storyline as well. And that was another very good scene with Marina as well, where she kind of spoke to the Queen's husband and stuff and kind of calmed him down. I think it was a very good scene. So yeah, I really love her character. I think she's very likable. I think she adds a lot to the storyline, and her hair stuff going on, sick every time. So I mean, even in that picture, look at it. So yeah, we love the Queen. Who do we go to now? These are all kind of main characters. Let's do Lady Bridgerton. I'd say there's no scenes where I've really disliked a character. I think for the most part, I actually really like most of the stuff she says. I'm not going to put her quite high up as royalty, but I will say higher ups, but probably at the bottom of higher ups. She has a lot of good scenes. Maybe middle class, actually. I just don't love her character, if that makes sense. As much as like Lady Danbury over here and the Queen, I'm not like... Because those three are kind of similar, where they're very wise. They give like wise speeches and all that, but I don't love her as much as how I feel with like when Lady Danbury gives like a really good speech, for example. So I'm going to say middle class. She does bring a lot to the show, but I personally don't love her character as much as I do some of the others, if that makes sense. So yeah, but she's still a very good character for sure. Let's do Lady Danbury. I want to say the Bridgertons for last. Royalty, better than the Queen. I love her. I don't know who this actress is who plays her. The mannerisms, how she plays Lady Danbury is so good. The comedy she brings with Lady Danbury's character is incredible. So it brings a lot of personality to that character. Because I think, again, kind of like with, I don't know who I use as an example. Oh, Edwina. Could have been kind of boring. Just like the wise person who looks after Simon and is kind of old, but you know, he knows what's kind of going on. I think that could have come across quite boring. I've seen that type of character done a lot in TV shows, but yeah, this actress did such a good job at actually bringing a really charming and good personality to Lady Danbury. So yeah, possibly my favourite character. Not quite my favourite character, but she's up there for sure. They have a lot of really good characters. Right, we have the Anthony's disappeared, but we do have the Bridgertons left and Kate. But I kind of want to save Kate for last. So, oh, Penelope's not Bridgerton. Let's do Penelope / Lady Whistledown, of course. I'd say higher ups, probably at the top of higher ups. Something she does kind of annoys me, like exposing that Marina was pregnant even though she's supposedly like her best friend or whatever. I know she did it out of saltiness because of her having a crush on Colin, but I mean that was kind of shitty. And then obviously a lot of people really disagree with how she handled the Eloise situation at the end of season 2, which I get. I kind of said in those reactions, like, it's just such a hard situation because either she comes forward and says she's laid Whistledown, lets Eloise take the fall, or exposes Eloise for something just to like get the queen off her back. Like, it was like a hard situation, and she literally had a day to make the decision. So kind of tricky. I don't hate her character for that. Obviously, like I said, it was just a hard decision. But I really like Penelope. I think her friendship with Eloise was one of the best parts of this entire season, especially the first half. We didn't really get much of their friendship in the second half of the season, but. And I mean, at the end of season 2, they're not even friends anymore. Apparently, we'll see how long that lasts. I'm going to go with 3 or 4 episodes of season 3, and then they're back on board together. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you guys who are reading the books are laughing like, this fool. You don't even know what's coming up in season 3. I mean, literally, I don't. But I'm excited to find out. But yeah, I really like Penelope. She's cool. I think she's a lot better in season 2 than she was in season 1. That's for sure. Let's get Daphne out of the way, because I feel like this is going to piss off a lot of people. Again, if you saw the reactions to season 1, didn't feel the chemistry between her and Simon, didn't care for their romance. I feel like Daphne, there were moments, and season 2, by the way, Daphne was actually really good. I really liked Daphne in season 2. I think she was kind of similar to her mum, where she was giving like the wise words and knew what was kind of going on with Anthony and Kate, but didn't want to get too involved. Was still trying to have him make his own decision, but was, you know, trying to steer him in the right direction by giving him those wise words, as I say. But season 1, that scene where she sexually assaulted Simon, I can't get. I know Simon. This was one of the comments, I think, it was like, well, Simon's a man, so he could have just pushed her off at any point. I thought some of the comments were so dumb, so stupid in that reaction. Oh God! And there's like, yeah, what Daphne did was wrong, but what Simon did was worse because he lied about not what. It's just like, what the fuck. So I still stand by my thoughts on Daphne. I think what she did was ridiculous, but especially because then she went and spoke to Simon. I get it. Her mum didn't. I get it. Her mum did not teach her about sex and how to have children and all that stuff. Yes, the mum definitely should have probably had a conversation with her about that before she married Simon. Obviously, I agree with that. But Daphne knew what was going on because she started to talk to Rose about it and questioned Rose about it. So she knew some things and then never spoke to Simon about it, just did that. So I can't be on board with Daphne's character. I think she would have been here, but season 2, she was actually pretty decent. So I'm going to put her there, top of Peasants. I can't, I'm sorry, I don't like her character. If she was just how she was at the start of season 1 and season 2, she'd be like higher ups probably. She had potential. She had potential, but the end of season 1 really ruined the character, for me at least. I know a lot of people disagree with that. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, but yeah, you know. On to the really good characters now. I think all these are pretty great. It's going to be hard to order these. Let's do Colin. I'd say I think he would have been higher ups. But he said some shit about Penelope at the end of season 2, if I remember. He's like, you really think I would date her? Like, bartering and bantering with his boys. It's just like, oh, bro, what are you doing? So that kind of pissed me off. Are you going to talk about Penelope like that? What the fuck? He did kind of talk about Greece a lot, doing travelling. But I like that as well, that he kind of, Lord Featherington, he called him out on his shit. I've just noticed Will isn't here as well. I did put Will in this list and he's literally not appeared. I don't know what's going on. Some of these images just don't want to show up. Will's his best friend who he was boxing with. But yeah, I like that he called Lord Featherington out on a shit at the end of season 2. His episode where he went to visit Marina was pretty good. I'd probably put him there. Top of middle class. I think he could have been in the higher ups, but he kind of fucked up a few times. I don't think he's super likable. I think he's likable, but not like incredibly likable like some of the others up there. So we'll put him at the top of middle class. Then we'll do Benedict, royalty, my guy. Probably not as good as Lady Danbury for me, but I really hope season 3 is either about him or Eloise, because those are the two like best out of the Bridgerton families. So yeah, I love him. He didn't get much in season 2. I actually think he was a better character in season 1. He's one of the rare characters out of this lot who was stronger in season 1 for me. But season 2 wasn't anything that like brought him down or anything like that. I don't think he had as many scenes. I could be wrong, but it didn't feel like he did. But yeah, I think it's more to do with the actor and his personality that really brings out how good Benedict is, not so much his story. Hopefully he gets a bit of a stronger story in season 3, because I think that's the one thing that's kind of lacking with Benedict. But he's just so likable and funny that he has to go up there. Let's do Eloise. Probably the best character for me. Her personality is great. Her story this season was great. She kind of had it all. Like she had, again, the one thing that was really lacking was the romance between him and her. I didn't feel it, because I think I could have, but it just had so little scenes that I was getting nowhere with it. But yeah, her story of trying to hunt down who Lady Featherington is and not being the diamond and being happy about that, and not wanting to go down the same path as Daphne did, I think was very good stuff. And the actress who plays her does such a good job, brings out such a great personality with the character as well. So yeah, Eloise has to be up there for sure. Let's pretend there's a picture of Will here, by the way. He's not appeared. Don't know why. Will would be middle class, probably above Mary. No, probably below Mary. I think he's fine. Will's pretty cool. And then let's picture Anthony. Anthony's here. No, he's not, but he is. I'd put Anthony probably in royalty, I think, at the bottom. Season 1, I didn't like him. But season 2, I think his story of like being at a young age and kind of having all this importance and responsibility pushed onto him, and watching his dad die in front of him, and having to take care of so much of the family, and seeing his mum kind of crumble for months, maybe even a couple of years or something. I don't know if they said the exact time frame that was, but having to watch and witness all that, and then the romance of not, knowing what he should do with marrying Marina and what he wants to do with obviously wanting to marry Kate, I think was very good for the storyline. I think the actor did a very good job. Someone pointed out they like how subtle he was with when he had like 2 or 3 scenes where he was crying, and how subtle that was. And yeah, I didn't mention it in the reactions, but I 100% agreed. So very good actor as well. But yeah, he'd be at the bottom here. Imagine Anthony's face right here. That's where it'd be. The bottom of royalty. Then we have Kate. I'm going to put her in royalty as well. Probably below Anthony. So good. So good. Their chemistry, bro. Oh, I can't. Their chemistry was so good. And she was so likable. She had such a good personality as well. I think, again, kind of watching the trailer, I was like, oh, is she going to be kind of boring? I'm not going to really get on with the character, because I thought Edwina and Kate they came across a little bit boring in the trailer, which is good, I guess, because then I was more surprised going into the reactions of season 2 and being surprised by how wonderful they actually were. So yeah, their chemistry was off the charts, and hopefully we get more of them in season 3, because I miss them already. I do miss them already. And then we have my boy Newton. Newton's there. If Newton isn't there for you, What are you doing? My boy, he tripped over Anthony. Everyone was like kind of looking at him like, why is this dog here? No one wants him here. I was like, but Newton didn't care. Newton wasn't having any of that shit. My boy was strutting his stuff. He knew his worth. And I'm convinced, actually, if Newton wasn't in the show, Kate and Anthony would not have ended up together. I'm just saying it. So if you're into the Kate and Anthony romance, Newton's who you have to thank for it. And I'd argue you have to thank him for how good season 2 actually was as well. So, yeah, no characters quite down here for me. I think Daphne very easy could have been there, but season 2, I'll admit, she was actually pretty good in season 2. So there is that. But yeah, no one really that bad. So I guess we can get rid of this row. There we go. That is the official list. Again, Will here and Anthony would be above Kate. So, like, in between the Queen and Kate. But those, I tried 3 times and I didn't even notice Will wasn't there. But I knew Anthony was just not appearing. So, apologies for that. But I'm sure you can visualise it for yourself. Anthony's beautiful face kind of sandwiched there. So, yeah, really enjoyed Bridgerton. Love the characters. Very excited for Season 3 already. Like I say, our next Netflix show is going to be Elite Season 5. Which, as I said, at the end of Season 2, I'm not super excited for at the moment, but it's their last chance, because Season 4 was that bad of that show that I'm not that excited for this season, but I'm going to give it one more chance. And then after that, we do have Stranger Things Season 4, which I am actually excited for, so that'll be good. Then we have, like, Game of Thrones spin-off, The Lord of the Rings show. I think The Last of Us TV show has been pushed to next year, but I'm obviously very excited for that as well. Sex Education Season 4. We have like a lot of good shows coming up as well, so hopefully you subscribed, or if that's your kind of thing, then subscribe. If it's not, then I'll see you for Bridgerton Season 3 hopefully. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know your top 3 or 5 characters, and I'll see you whenever I see you. Until then, take care. Peace.